Good evening, everyone. This evening, we are talking with Creatures of the Night Paranormal, a two woman team who has been exploring the paranormal together since 2010. These investigative partners have stepped into some of America's most notoriously haunted locations, including Waverly Hills Sanatorium and the Villisca Axe Murder House. You can see their latest findings on their YouTube series, Evidence Autopsy. So stay tuned because the creatures of the night are here and they are sharing their chilling experiences inside America's most haunted places. Tonight on Unraveling the Darkness. Good evening, Aaron.
Good evening. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Trying to get the Facebook thing going, but yeah, doing pretty well. How are you?
Not too bad, man. Braving the wind.
The wind, yes.
105 miles an hour yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy. It seemed like it sustained somewhere around 40s most of the day. It was just crazy. So
yeah, wonderful winter time.
Yep, if it's cold, it's windy.
So did you check out Horn Paranormal's little release party last Friday?
Yes, with the
spirit box that they printed out to look like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
That thing is pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. It'll do linear or scattered, I saw.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, I'm going to have to try that because, like I said, I've been looking for new toys. I bought the new REM pod and played with that a little bit last weekend, and it's a big improvement. So it's got a built-in battery. So it's rechargeable now, and it's got a battery level indicator. So we're not guessing when, it seems to be acting a little squirrely. The batteries are probably bad.
Yeah, they should do that in the yes/no prism.
Yes, they should.
Seems that we use enough that like each battery.
Yeah, it does. I'm in mine. I've had it a little over a year. I think I'm only getting like 4 or 5 hours out of it now.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So we need someone to create a good yes/no device.
Yeah. Hey, Horn, if you're, well, they're probably not because our Facebook feed is down, which I'll work on in a second. But yeah, Horn, when you watch this, we need a good yes/no.
All right. Well, tonight we are talking with Creatures of the Night Paranormal.
Yes, we are.
Let's go ahead and bring them in. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Chris. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So first thing I saw when reading your guys' bio is you have a little bit of an interesting dynamic now. You're actually pretty much across the U.S. from each other, but still managing to share investigative notes and evidence. Why don't you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, Jason, it's been like that for a really long time. Actually, I moved to New England and Wendy moved to Arizona, and that's like, almost 15 years ago?
Oh, I've only been here for almost 11, but you went to New England like 12, 13 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I raised my kid there basically. And so we started ghost hunting in 2010. And then like right when things were getting good, I'm like, bye, I gotta go. moved to New Hampshire.
Loves me.
Peace. No, but we were able to keep it going. So what we do and what we did and what we still do is we kind of meet up regularly for different investigations across the U.S. We haven't made it outside the U.S. yet. It's still on our bucket list, hopefully to come in 2026, 2027, maybe. But yeah, that's kind of how it's been working out. I moved from New England to North Carolina, and we're still rocking and rolling with the exact same scenario. She comes to me, I go to her, or we meet somewhere and
Well, and
investigate.
both of you are living in places that just have awesome paranormal sites around.
Yeah. Yeah, we lucked out. We chose exactly because of that reason. We were like, where on the map if we're gonna have to split up, where are you gonna go? Where am I gonna go? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, it almost seems deliberate. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with you, Wendy. Well. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Talking before the show that, Wendy, you're down in that corner of Arizona that I love. It's, the Old West, and most of our watchers, I'm sure, know that I'm just an Old West junkie. Gina and I have been to Tombstone so many times and down to Bisbee, and yeah, that is such a great area for paranormal activity,
Absolutely. Chris and I did the Birdcage Theater. I couldn't tell you what year that was. I want to say 2015. That doesn't sound right at all, Chris.
I think you're right. It was like 2018 or something like that. It's a long time ago.
Because I moved here, and yeah, okay. So, but we've done the Birdcage. We've done like the Copper Queen. We just did Acadia Ranch. We've been up into Jerome. So like I'm in Southern Arizona, but Jerome is like amazing. It's just a really cool town to begin with. But then there's places in Flagstaff. I mean, it's all over here in Arizona, and North Carolina is just the same. And especially as you like trickle down into South Carolina or over into Georgia or something, like she's within 5 to 6 hours from all kinds of haunted places, and the same here in Arizona. So we definitely put our places on the map strategically around haunted locations. Yeah.
Right. We spoke to a team in Arizona. I know there's a Paracon that's in Globe, but Arizona Paranormal Investigation Enthusiasts, Arizona PIE, great women. It's so active down there. It's so cool.
Yeah, Globe we have been to Globe. Chris and I did the Elk Lodge, and we did the train station. I did the jail. Chris was supposed to do the jail with me, but some stuff happened and she couldn't. So I forced my husband and my youngest child to go with me.
Nice.
So we've done all 3 of the hot spots in Globe before. And Chris did a day tour of the jail when we were there. And Globe is just amazing. It's a small town that doesn't have a whole lot going on. So they lean into the paranormal, and I love it. I appreciate it, because those locations, the train, we still have to like review our stuff, but the Elk Lodge and the jail have been very giving. So great locations.
You had mentioned the Copper Queen. We actually stayed in Bisbee at the Copper Queen on Halloween. We walked in and
we were just behind you.
This was a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
We walked in, of course, had our Way Out West hoodies on, and they're like, "Oh, paranormal." Yeah. And the gal at the desk was like, "Okay, so we do have the haunted house going on, but if you guys want to come down tonight and just push the doors open, you can go into the restaurant, you can sit there all night. We don't care, do whatever." And I'm like, "This is awesome. Thanks, guys." Like, they're so open to it.
Yeah, Bisbee's real open to the ghosts, as most towns in Arizona, for sure. But we just went to the Copper Queen. That we literally just did it like weeks ago. And I saw your podcast where you said that. So when we were checking in, we made sure to let them know that we were looking for ghosts. The guy that checked us in, not the same as the woman that checked you in.
No.
He was like, "Yeah, there's some ghosts, whatever. Look at my dog." And his dog was great. But
yeah, and he's like, "We locked the doors at 11. Here's your code. Goodbye."
He's real specific.
Wow.
Shoot.
What time he needed to be back in. Yeah. We didn't have the same experience that way, but we really had a great time at the hotel, and we had a pretty amazing experience inside our room. So
Oh, nice. Something you'd like to share?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're still working on you'll find out. That's the kind of premise of our show, that we're very slow to review our evidence. But I have looked at all of my stuff because I had a long road trip over Thanksgiving. So I looked at it, and we got some EVPs. We got there's one that sounds very childlike. You know, they say Billy is the little child spirit that's supposed to haunt the location. So I got like a high that I think is childlike. We put it out there on social media. Somebody else said they didn't think it was childlike, but open to interpretation, I guess.
Yep.
But one of the craziest things that happened is when we first got there, Chris and I had just done a different investigation. And so we needed to nap like during the day. We're old ladies. So we we get settled into our hotel room and we lay down to take a nap. And Chris and I have shared a bed in a haunted location 1,000,000 times. And we both sleep like cocoons. We don't touch each other. She's not a touchy-feely person. That's just the way it is. But sometime in the middle of our nap, there's something, or I assume Chris touched my shoulder, and I kind of like go to look to see like, what do you want? And I hear, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I think it's just Chris, like out of her mind, asleep, accidentally touching me for the first time ever in 15 years. But I write it off that way. So when I woke up, or when we woke up, I was asking, how did she sleep? Blah, blah, blah. And I told her, "Oh, yeah, I only woke up twice, this time and the time that you touched my shoulder." And she's looking at me like, "I touched your shoulder?" And I was like, "Yeah, you touched my shoulder. You said I'm sorry. It's not a big
It's
deal
good.
or anything."
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, "That doesn't sound like me at all." And so the more and more we talked about it, just the way that she sleeps. I mean, there's no proof of this, but she does not feel like she did that. And the story in Julia Lowell's room is that she will approach people as they're sleeping, mostly men. And not that I look manly, but I do have really thin hair and I tend to always wear it like this. And it was braided. So like laying down, I do look like I have like a short haircut, So I think it's possible that Julia Lowell was like, "Hey, dude. Oh, never mind.
My bad.
My bad. You're actually a lady. Okay." And floated away, So that was a crazy experience because I've never had that happen to me at any haunted location that we ever slept at.
Yeah. Wow. Quite the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately not documented, but we do have a lot of EVPs that we documented there. And then Chris did an Estes method while we were there. That was pretty wild. The words, were kind of all over the place, but the craziest thing was that like at the end, she had kind of like a vision pop in her head. Yeah. What you tell them?
Yeah, that was a little weird. So like, and I recounted that too on our episode, but like, if you've ever done the Estes method for an extended amount of time, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I get nauseous. I get like car sick, like it's too much. And that's kind of what was starting to happen. And as I'm pretty close to like telling Wendy, okay, this is done, I just see a pair of white eyes open up in the darkness. It's complete blackness. And I'm just listening to the radio doing its thing. And I just see a pair of white eyeballs just open up in the darkness. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting sick anyways. I got to take this off. I have no idea what just happened. Is that a spirit guide? Is that a spirit? Is it just my brain telling me you're about to fall off this bed? I don't know. But that was interesting because, like I said, I've done the Estes method a handful of times. We've actually had a lot of luck with it. I think that we were even having some luck with it at the Oracle Ranch Museum, but it got cut short. Whereas, like sometimes Wendy's standing there asking questions and the box actually responds. I don't know what it is that she's saying. I didn't even know that it was that I needed to quit with the session. She touched me and I opened up my eyes and there was a man standing there that I wasn't expecting to see. And I screamed. He was a real person, not a ghost. It was time for us to go. Like I said, it was cut short. So like I've done the Estes method a few times. And that's the only time where a pair of white eyes have just kind of opened up. And that happened for me at the Copper Queen.
But remember, you said that they were kind of angled, like they weren't directly in front of you. They were off to the side. And then after she got off that Estes method, we were on a live. And so we were like, okay, we're going to go because Chris is not feeling good. And then our dead bell, I'm from the South, actually. So that comes out every once in a while. It was right in front of the door, off to the left here, where
the side that
those eyeballs.
Yeah, that's true.
And it just went off, so we had to stay on the live for a little bit longer to see if it would respond more. So
I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna get sick, and she's like, just a little longer, hang on.
Hang in there. But it never went off again. So it's like every time we noticed it, it kind of like ran off.
Yeah, that was interesting though. You're right.
That's really interesting. I've had it's only happened a couple times, but I've had like those in-your-face visions doing the Estes before. Both times it has been with Aaron's wife, Gina. It seems like when me and her, we do a double Estes. So we have two people under at the same time. And
That's
cool. I just had this. We were in a museum, and all of a sudden it was like getting slapped in the face with this just very vivid picture of this mountain with a waterfall coming down with a tree on each side of the waterfall. Like I could see it crystal clear. And so I'm describing this, and Gina, Aaron's wife, who's also under, she's got the headphones on, she's got the blindfold on, she starts saying, he sees. So we were getting confirmation like that. Yeah, it was really crazy.
I love that.
Yeah, I had never gotten, any kind of like visual off doing an Estes before, but that was definitely weird.
Oh man,
the SB11 because you can do two headphones out.
Yep.
On two separate channels. So it's everywhere we go, we do a double, and it's pretty interesting. Sometimes, being the person asking questions, I stop. Like we stop asking questions because they're going back and forth, talking like the spirits are talking back and forth to each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, watching and just in awe.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like you don't want to butt in. There's a good conversation going on you're catching. It's like, all right, well, I'll just sit here and observe.
Right? Well, you ask them to communicate, and here's your opportunity. Why would you butt in?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I love that.
Yep.
Never would have thought to do that. Well, it's only two of us here, so it's not like we really can.
So we would just
blindfold yourself. I'll keep my eyes open.
If y'all video record, something you could try. This is something I've been throwing around for a while. Is doing pre-recorded questions, and then you could both go under Estes, play those on your phone or something, and record that.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a good idea. We just got really cool eye masks too, right, Chris?
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
Yeah, we did.
Their eyeballs. They're
from
paintings.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's like the Mona Lisa. I'm like the girl with the pearl earring or something.
Better than God. When we first started doing the double Estes, we forgot the eye masks one time, and Jackie, she used to be on our team. She used a like one of the COVID cloth masks over her face, so the entire video she looks like a bird, this big beak just coming off her head. But hey, it worked.
It works. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like having something ask questions and you're both under. Think about Dumas.
Oh yeah, no, you'd have to pick the location. I wouldn't do it at Dumas.
Yeah, you couldn't have both people under in a place like.
But Dumas was rough for an Estes because you only made it 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's so Dumas Brothel in Butte, Montana. We went up there this past year, and first time I'd been touched, and then we go under double, and Michelle, the other member of our team, and I go, and like it was just so much, like all the words coming across, and then I was touched 3 times in like again like a minute and a half, and I'm like, no, I can't. It was too much. It was crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
I
come out.
So I take his place.
It kept telling me that you guys like left, and I'm the only one here, and it's a crazy place.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
love
I
that.
took Aaron's place after, because he just couldn't do it anymore, getting touched. And it's like as soon as I went under, I felt like someone was standing just to the right of me, ready to just clock me in the face. Like I just felt this like angry energy right there. And then, I get out from under and, yeah, like Aaron said, Michelle's sitting there saying, oh, yeah, whatever it was telling me, that you're going to be alone. They all left you, and yeah, it was very, very strange down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think Chris and I could handle the two of us both blindfolded with headphones like this on in a place where we feel intimidated.
Yeah.
We would just be immediately
Yep.
off, like to what is going on. Yeah.
Yep.
We couldn't handle it not blindfolded without noise canceling headphones on in the Villisca Axe murder house. We were just like, it's too intense. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
So when did y'all go to Villisca?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's another one that I can't.
That's a good question. Everything happened in 2018, it seems like.
We'll stick with that. It was probably a long time ago too.
It was pre-COVID for sure. But I can't remember the year.
Yeah.
But it's been a while, but it'll never, ever leave our minds. And
Ever.
We've been talking more and more about how we need to go back, like with some courage. But
yeah, with some courage.
Yeah, but it was a pretty messed up experience there. Yeah. The house can just be really intimidating. Like the biggest thing that happened, I mean, well, lots of things actually happened, but so when you're in the house, there's plenty of people that will drive by and stop and get out and take pictures by the sign. They're real good not to come up to like the windows or anything and like really freak you out. But they're getting out of their car, they're in the yard and whatnot. So that kept like making us, what's going on? There's another car out front, And at one point, so at one point in time, we're doing a spirit box in the room where the Stillinger girls were murdered. And we thought we got the word. What did we think we got? Satan?
I think it was
something bad. And then we thought we heard footsteps. So we just turned the spirit box off. And we're like, what is happening? There sounds like there's something going on in the kitchen or the stairs. So we go to the kitchen and we're standing in there. And then the screen door opens. So not the door to the house. It is closed. But the screen door blows. It doesn't blow open. It opened very slowly and then shut very slowly. So not like wind, Right. And so we thought a real person was there, like one of those people that had been driving up to take pictures in front of the sign. Maybe they were opening the door to look in the windows and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we were like, oh my God, somebody's at the door. That kind of scares us. Like living people scare us more. And right. And then we realized we're staring right at it. There's enough light to see there's nobody at that door. So all of a sudden, just the energy in the house completely changed. Then both of us are just like standing there shaking. And we're like, why don't we go outside and like reset ourselves and then we'll come back in. So we do that. We go outside, we have a snack. Hour later, we come back into the house. We're like, we got a plan. We're going to drop some stuff off, set some things up, and then maybe we'll go back outside for another break. While we're in the middle of that, when we first walked in, it felt fine. Again, like your grandma's house. Mm-hmm. And then we're in there for just like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And the house just changed again. Like the whole energy just felt off. Yeah. And we have an EVP on our channel that is saying, oh God, I can't remember it at the moment. It's something like I'm right behind you or whatever. And it's like a man's voice. And and that's what it felt like. Like there was a presence that was like, y'all need to go.
There was so much going on in Villisca. Yeah, and we did. And Wendy, you were right. That was 2016. I looked it up while you were talking.
That's a little long.
2016. Yeah. And we've been saying, we're going to go back. We're going to go back. We keep finding other places to go instead. There's a reason for that. But yeah, no lie. When we got to that place, it was just like sunshine and cookies were like on, baked, the fresh baked cookies. Like it just felt so peaceful. We're like, wow, what? everyone says this place is scary.
Intense,
It
yeah.
got intense. When, just like she said, when we were sitting in the two little girls' room, it suddenly felt as if somebody had come home. You know, when you feel when somebody else has just got home, like they're unloading the groceries or something, that feeling happened, but it didn't feel like it was a family member or somebody good. It felt bad. And when we went to go and check it out, you know, Wendy's got a camera, and I think I had a camera too, or maybe it was my audio recorder, because I got an EVP just before that screen door opens up and shuts. It was like, here's your sign, guys. If you didn't get it already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get out.
And leave. And I shared that video with Johnny Hauser, who was the one managing the property at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me the surveillance video from
Right.
outside. And, you know, that's to prove that nobody was out there messing with us, because that was like one of Chris's concerns, that somebody was just like playing a joke on us.
Yeah.
But nobody was out there. And he even agreed that it opens and shuts very oddly, like for it to be wind. But the biggest thing is how much the energy changed. And so you think in that moment, like, we're just so scared that our energy is maybe what's filling the house. But when we went back in, we were relaxed at that point. We were all business, like we are, you know, set up a camera here with this on this trigger item, object, whatever. And then so setting up stuff, you know, like we were not trying not to think about it the second time around. So, but it still came on. And, you know, I know TV shows are just for entertainment and everything, but I've seen Amy Bruni and Adam Berry say the same thing about that house. Project Fear people, they say the same thing about that house, which feels validating for what we experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much that you hear about Villisca is you get what you go in intending to want. You know,
I have heard that.
You go in and you want to talk to the family or whatever. It seems that that's how it goes. If you want to go in and you want to be, not to say you were, but you get that other entity that.
We're not like that, but we have been to Lizzie Borden's and been like, tell us who did it, you know?
Right.
So there is a little bit of that. Like, we are true crime junkies a little bit too. So, you know,
maybe
there was a
you
lot
went
of
in with that
conversation
intent
about
of
it.
wanting to talk to the murderer or something, you know? And
Yeah.
God, you know, like it seems
definitely in our mind.
What you go in wanting is what you're getting, you know? And, you know, Amy Bruni and Adam Berry on that one episode they brought that guy in that had like, I want to do it by myself, and then stab himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. just crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a very interesting episode. But speaking of like true crime, and you had mentioned earlier Tombstone, and just to put out there that we aren't really the kind of people that go in and like try to gruff, you know, places up. When we were at Tombstone, we did feel like the energy wasn't really happening for us at a birdcage. We did a stay at the birdcage. So we decided to act like we were going to rob the place. Like it was everyone was there playing poker. So they said that there was, you know, we could play with one of the guns that they had at the bar if we wanted to. So I was like, cool. All right. We're going to go in there. We're going to tell them we're going to shoot the place up. And that's what we did. Nothing was really happening. We went back in there with the guns and I do a whole spiel like, yeah, I'm here to rob you, stick them up and blah, blah, blah. And I put the guns in the air. And at that moment, that's when the shift happened. Like we had footsteps, like approach us, like you are taking my money.
Wow.
Like it was like, whoa, I'm just kidding.
My bad.
Like,
Yeah.
Entertainment. This is just and we're out.
It was so hilarious because Chris is like, yeah, stick it up. Pew, pew, pew. She literally was like, pew,
She
pew,
said
pew,
pew, pew, pew.
Yeah. But then we hear like boom, boom, boom on the floor. And that's all it was. We didn't actually get any EVPs during that time. Yeah. But we heard those footsteps where Chris was like, oh my God, do you hear that? And I'm like frozen by the door. Like, I hear it.
that wood floor, you could hear wherever it was too, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Great.
So like I don't think we do a whole lot of other real try to raise the roof kind of energy with spirits, but we have found it does seem like the more energy you put into the location, the more you're going to get. So, you know, and that's tough too, because you can only investigate at night, which means after a flight across state lines, you know, depending on what time you got up, staying up until 3 a.m. it's going to be tough.
It can be rough.
It is going to be tough. It can be really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do our best.
We are not in our 20s, though we look it, right?
Okay. Not even close. I get it. We talk about, you know, we're out here, you guys know we're in Cheyenne, and we did Whiteface House in Kansas. That was a 10.5-hour drive. Butte, Montana, a 10.5-hour drive. And when we would go see the stepson in Tucson, that's 13-hour drive. I mean, so it's, out here, everything's so far from us, you know. We do have stuff that's close, but to get to the good stuff, we're driving. So, but we kind of jumped into all these places, and such great experiences at them all. Chris, what got you to want to investigate the paranormal?
Man, I just love weird stuff. That's the best I've got. Honestly, my mom would actually, when I was a kid, she would tell me about experiences that she had. And I was fascinated by the fact that she felt spirits, like she could, you know, sense them, hear them, feel them, that sort of thing. And when I was a kid, like, I was like, what? What does that mean? How does that happen? How come that doesn't happen to me? How come I can't like see spirits, talk to spirits, whatever? So, I mean, it was definitely something I was totally fascinated with, but like, you know, also aliens, also Bigfoot, you know, I love the unknown. And I mean, I just really wanted to dig into it more. I lucked out with Wendy, honestly, because we were friends through a mutual friend. And, you know, Wendy and I both have kids relatively around the same age. And Wendy ended up moving, no lie, right down the street from me. And she would end up having, you know, get-togethers, kids parties and stuff like that. And at the end of one of the parties, and I'm there, and, you know, then the kids go and run off to do their after party, you know, what was it, Dr. Mario video game or whatever. And Wendy would be cleaning up, and, you know, the parents would just kind of get together and chill and talk and whatever. Wendy had an episode of Ghost Adventures on. And I was like, dude, I like Ghost Adventures. I didn't know you like Ghost Adventures. It's just like, oh, yeah, I have a Sony night vision camera. And I was like, dude, we have to go ghost hunting. Let's go. Nice. And it was just at that point. But this is the craziest thing. There was a cemetery, again, no lie, right down the road from our houses in Atoka, Tennessee, that has like crazy stories of things happening in the cemetery. And we're like, you got a camera? Let's go. It's freezing outside. So what? Put on your boots. Now the kids were taken care of. We didn't just leave them to there were other parents there that were taking care of them. We all hopped in the car. I think Wendy's sister might have been with us, and maybe our mutual friend at the time. We get to the cemetery, they chickened out. They stayed in the car. They're like, nope, the Honda is safer than whatever is in the cemetery.
Yeah, we tried forcing friends and family members to go with us at first, but they quickly were like, no thanks, peace out. So they just kind of melted away, and Chris and I just kind of took over, you know, and then it was like just me and her for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, so it was just a curiosity that I had, and I just lucked out in finding someone who was also just as curious about it. So this is how we got to where we are.
So we get you two getting together, but Wendy, were you into the, obviously, because you had your night vision camera and you're doing
she
stuff.
She was ready.
Well, no, I actually just had that camera. it wasn't a thought for me to go out yet and do anything, even though I was watching those kind of shows, because I didn't have like a sidekick, you know? Same story as Chris. I was just a weird kid. I think that's a classic story for a lot of paranormal investigators. I liked everything that was like mysterious and, ooh, are vampires real? Are witches really exist? And then the ghost, you know? And I grew up in a house that was haunted by a spirit, I believe a male spirit. And he only really showed himself to me, that I can say for sure. And I saw him a few times. I felt his presence quite often. And I would go and tell my sister, or go and tell my mom, or I would try to talk to kids I went to school with. And they were like, you're a weirdo. My mom would tell me it's just your imagination. And my sister would be like, I don't want to hear it. She's terrified of this stuff. Friends would just be looking at me, they're into makeup and whatnot. And I'm like, ghosts and goblins. You don't want to talk about that? Oh, okay. So I just learned to be quiet about it. So it was like my little guilty pleasure to just watch the, most haunted things on the Travel Channel, or, Unsolved Mysteries when they did creepy little stories. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting here watching Ghost Adventures by myself, not talking to anybody about it. Chris and I actually knew each other when we were teenagers, and it took to our early 20s with kids. We weren't close as teenagers. We were just those mutual friends, And then it took to that Halloween party that ghosts were brought up and Ghost Adventures was on, for her to be like, wait, what? And I was like, what? And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, I found my people. And
right.
Then I was like, look, all they're doing is they got a camera, they got a recorder, let's go. Let's just get in the car and go. And we've been doing that ever since. So
yeah. Yeah, we used to luck out because we were once upon a time just down the street from each other in Tennessee. Yeah. And we would do the 10-hour car trips to Ashmore Estates or Sedumsville or the Watsika Wonder House. And we would hop in the car and drive there, do the overnight investigation. And we were too cheap to get a hotel. So we would hop back in the car at 3 a.m. and drive right back home. Wow, I can't believe we are still alive.
When we went to that place, but when we went to that place in Cincinnati, and we did stay in a motel for that one, and I'm surprised we're
Sedumsville
after that.
Yeah, because motel. Of that. Yeah, that's true.
Because we were cheap, so we stayed at a lot of cheap motels to make these things happen.
Yep. Golden Winslow, Arizona at 1 o'clock one night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I swear there was a murder in that bathtub where it was staying. So
my sister and I drove up to meet after Chris moved to New England. I guess maybe just the fall after that. She and I were going to drive and meet at Moundsville State Penitentiary in West Virginia, right? Yep. And so my sister went with me because I didn't want to drive all the way by myself. And we stopped halfway, my sister and I, to a cheap hotel. And there was a car show going on wherever we were at. So it took us forever to find a hotel. And the one that we found, oh my God, I slept with my hood on, all my clothes, kept my shoes on.
Yeah.
I was like, nope.
And it goes back to the living's definitely more scary than the dead, right?
For sure. Yes. Yeah. So I have slept in my shoes for the dead as well.
Yeah.
So it might have been a little bit for the.
We got to be ready to book it at some places. Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah, that place was insane. But I mean, we did start out with telling you that we were true crime junkies too. So we got our street smarts on us.
Yeah. There's this old bed and breakfast that I don't think is even open as a bed and breakfast anymore because the owners had passed away. They were old when we were there, and that was forever ago. It's in Bolivar, Tennessee. And we went to go stay there, and we were the only guests there until the owner's nephew or grandson or something showed up. And he was just talking our ear off and trying to keep giving us glasses of wine. And he talked about the Matrix for
he was doing voices from the Matrix. Well,
that's wonderful.
That's great.
We
Don't
literally,
wait.
we literally have an EVP on our channel from this location that when we were like, okay, we gotta go, there's a female spirit that says, don't leave.
Don't
And
I can't
I
hear the
think she's
Matrix anymore.
Yeah,
I
she's
can't
like,
take it.
don't leave me with this. But our room was the guest cottage on the ground, so we went out there, and there was a storm coming through too. So there was all kinds of scratching and noises going on. And when we locked ourselves up into the bedroom, there was like a sitting area as well. Out in the sitting area, we kept hearing like walking
Footsteps.
we put the nightstand in front of that door. We're like,
Yep.
I don't know if it's that guy or if it's the ghost because
but wait.
supposed to be haunted.
There was like a grate on the floor. So if you walked into the door, into the front door, it was kind of like a cross. You would go straight into the bathroom or you'd cross, and one way went to the bedroom, one way went to the living room. And right in the middle of the floor was this like an air duct grate kind of a vent.
Yeah.
And you would step on it and you would hear the metal clang, you know, and we would hear the footsteps coming in the living room, and then you'd hear them come across that grate. And Wendy, she pushed that dresser up against the door, and she had fully dressed gym shoes on and everything wrapped up like this. And I'm like,
my glasses.
Hey, you're kind of scaring me. Yeah, her glasses were on. She's like, I'm ready to book it.
So first thing in the morning when it was time to go and the house is quiet, or the room cottage is quiet, Chris is like, you ready? And I'm like, yup.
Yep, let's bounce.
Covers up. I'm like, I'm good to go.
Pull the car up to the front door. I'm leaving.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yep.
And you
That
know
was
that
Chris.
kid talking Matrix to you for 3 hours doing impersonations. He left. He was like, killed it. You know.
You know he was.
Yeah.
You know he was. Oh man,
He
that was
was
such a great place. Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's good times. Good times.
So now you're doing evidence autopsy, and
Mhm.
this is going through the evidence that you took at these places you've investigated. Tell us a little bit about that and how you guys are doing that.
Everything is just like kind of like this. We do everything over the internet. We do the calls on the weekend because we're 2 hours different. So we'll just pick a location that we've got some evidence that we need to review. And then when we get on the show, I'll review the evidence. I'll review what I found, and we'll kind of pick it apart. You know,
Are you doing like first time seeing this evidence, or is this stuff you've gone through and then you're pulling on the show?
Well, first time for like, it's kind of like show and tell. So she'll review whatever. So let me just say this real quick. So Chris and I have been doing this for like 15 plus years, right? We have also been raising kids and working a full-time job for 15 plus years. So every time we go to a location, we come back with all this video, audio, pictures. We're like, that's so cool. I can't wait to look at it. Oh, wow. There's regular life to do. So I don't know what other people are doing, but we have struggled for the last 15 years in reviewing our stuff. So we have a whole bank of things that we haven't fully reviewed, which I know is horrible to say. You should review your evidence right away so it's fresh in your mind, but it's life, man. So this show is us going back, like it just released today. Is from 2018. Chris was reviewing some evidence from 2018. I don't even think it's her full evidence, right?
No, I haven't finished it.
So it's just whatever she got time to do. It's kind of like we set homework assignments for ourselves now so that we'll keep on a schedule, and then we present it to each other. So it's the first time I'm seeing it. Of course, she reviews it on her own, 3 hours of video, and then she takes it down to whatever.
I also want to say that in doing this, we're trying to make it a little bit more cohesive, because if you go back on our YouTube channel has been around almost as long as we've been around. Like, you go back and there's stuff on there from 2011 and it's just a clip. It doesn't say what you're supposed to hear. There's no word that pops up. It's just a clip. And if you listen hard enough, you'll be like, okay, I kind of hear something, but you don't really know what it is. And we did a bunch of those in the beginning. We're just like, I found something, put it on YouTube, clip it. And then I'll say, Wendy, go and find it. Here it is. So in doing this show too, we're trying to make it a little bit more cohesive that way, that we're like, okay, here is what we found, when we found it, and what we think it's saying and put it out there. And you don't have to listen and agree with us. I'm not trying to make it like that. I'm just saying this is the flow of it, instead of it being like, here's a clip.
Yep.
Good luck at what you might find there. That's kind of the idea about putting it all together on the show too.
Yeah, it's for our benefit as much as it is for opening up a conversation about those pieces of evidence. Like, we're very open to hearing what people say. If they actually think it's a DVP, or if they actually think that thing in the picture is something, or if it's lens flare, or if they think it came from the hallway, or if they don't hear anything at all. Like, we're not going to get our feelings hurt. We think that conversation needs to happen on all of this. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's why we put it out there.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. So that's pretty neat. And as far as like getting right to your evidence, we totally understand. This year, we've talked about that. Like, this year went by so crazy fast. We were just finishing up stuff from like an investigation in March. So it's just nuts how time flies, and life gets it.
Well, then also, you guys, you're bringing all kinds of equipment, all kinds of cameras and recording devices. And then you got to sit down and watch every SD card that you pulled out of all of those devices. That takes so much time.
Yep.
And look, I'm trying to listen to this stuff. And the video that I'm trying to watch from the Myrtles is a camera that's on our spirit bearer who's doing the investigation. And it's just like nonstop, just spirit bearer asking questions. And then what was that? What was that? And watching a video where nothing is happening either. It's just a spirit bearer. You're falling asleep. Like, it is so hard to watch that stuff.
Yeah, and for me, going through audio evidence, I can't do anything else. Like, if I start, try to do it while I'm working, I'll just zone out on what I'm working on, and then the last hour that I've been listening is useless.
Right.
Same. I do that all the time. Yeah, I have to concentrate on it, so I cannot do anything else. And then, like what Chris is saying with the video, that nothing changes and it's very stagnant. We have at least 3 more videos out there of us sleeping. Never again will we record ourselves sleeping. But for a while there, we were always recording ourselves sleeping at these locations. It is the most boring stuff. So I'll be watching it and then also be like, oh, what can I buy on this?
Right.
And then I'm like,
Amazon.
Nope, you're supposed to be watching this, Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remind me after when we chat in the green room. I've got something that might be able to help you all with that. So
we'll take any
I've got a program I wrote that'll analyze a video file for like light flashing and then give you timestamps. Yeah. So if you've got issues like I do, I'll see if I can get that finished up and get it over to you, because that helps a lot.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, March was the first time we recorded us sleeping, and I was like, oh, this is
Yep. It's rough.
It's so bad when you go to places that are like, the stories are the sheets get pulled off of you, or someone's tickling your toes. So you want to record, and then you come home and you're like, I don't think anything happened. So Wendy's like, good. I don't really want to watch that.
Right.
Long video. I don't want to watch it either. So that program sounds amazing. That would be cool.
But then you have things like what happened to me at the Copper Queen.
Right.
Like, had we been recording ourselves, and that was just for a nap, so we should have totally did it, but it still would have been 3 hours of us just laying there and going to the bathroom occasionally and whatnot. But it would have been able to prove whether it was actually Chris that touched me or not. Right. As much as we don't believe that it was her, because it's not like her, but we don't have
you want to be able to prove it. Yeah, for sure.
It would be nice, but
just to go along with it.
They're boring to watch for sure. Mm-hmm. So we just had like a not going to record us when we're sleeping, and then something happens.
And then of course something happens.
Yeah.
I will say we've had one of our best pieces of evidence recorded while we were sleeping, and a mouse ran across the floor and jumped onto a cat ball and sent the cat ball flying. And so that was interesting to see.
I bet it was.
He sent
Tom and Jerry.
He sent it to me on my phone at work, and I'm looking. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. The cat ball moved. Wait, what's that? Like, you need to go back and look. He's like, why? I'm like,
zoom in on the cat ball.
Like,
oh no!
You
Yeah.
have to have those double checks, and it's always great to
Mhm.
have, like, the way that Chris and I are doing the show and tell kind of situation now. It's good to have the backup because sometimes I'm showing her stuff and I'm like, "Is this you? Like,
Yeah.
you think
Yep.
it's you?" Because I'm not sure. Because when I was reviewing. Oh, it was the Copper Queen. I was reviewing the Copper Queen, and I thought I had an EVP on my camera, my video camera, because it was the creepiest voice, and I thought it said like you're gonna step on me, and Chris was like backing up, but we were filming a live at the same time. So I went to our YouTube channel, I looked at the live, and even looking at the live, I still didn't catch it. I make my husband listen to it, which half the time he can't hear any of the stuff I hear.
Right.
But
It doesn't have the paranormal ear.
Right.
no, but he has the practical ear because I play the live for him, and he goes, "Yeah, that's you, Wendy." And I was like, "What?" And then when he pointed it out, I was like, "Oh, the
Dang.
words were all wrong, and that's why I
Mhm.
didn't catch it."
Right.
But yeah, I totally made a creepy voice at that time. So
But that's the good thing about sharing evidence and the collaboration part, right? And
Yeah.
because if not, you're just living in an echo chamber, and whatever you hear, that's what it is. And I hate when that happens because you can't, because once you see that happening with someone, you can't really trust anything else they put out after that, right? Like,
oh, for sure. Yeah. And if people are real diehard on their evidence and not
yep.
open to listening to other things,
Mhm.
then that's problematic too. So yeah, no, we've always been like, we make mistakes. That's fine. Tell us what you think's going on.
Right. We're not going to call everything an EVP. Like we just did, we did an investigation on the USS Battleship North Carolina, and it
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
but it wasn't just us. It was a event. Like
Mhm.
Haunted Rooms was hosting it, so
Yeah.
there were like I don't know, like 70 people maybe on board the ship. So it's like yeah, you can investigate it, but you're investigating it with everybody else and you don't know these people's voices. So anything could be a spirit voice, unless it's directly whispering into your audio recording saying, "Hey, I'm a ghost." But even at that point, you'd be like, well, yeah, okay, sure. That was somebody that was messing with me. And there were two really amazing people on board that were night watchmen that we got to meet, Dennis and Fred. And even they told us that they like to prank people. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's like, thanks.
All right. So this is just a for fun one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
we really did just go around and have the best time. It was
Yeah.
interesting to be on the ship, and so it was a fun experience. We try to stay away from public tours now that we could afford to rent out places.
Right.
We honestly didn't think that you could rent out that boat. Turns out you can. It's just kind of
Oh.
pricey.
It is.
But yeah, it was still a fun experience, and it was cool to talk to the night watchmen for sure.
Yeah,
They were
it was.
awesome, and their stories. And towards the end of the night, Chris and I were the only people left on the ship in the last like 30 minutes or so. So that was an interesting experience just to be on there. But honestly, once everybody left, the place just felt
died.
so
Literally.
silent. Yeah.
More energy.
We're staying till the end.
Yeah. We're
That's
like,
us.
we're never leaving. And the ghosts are like, go home.
Good night.
Peace. Yep.
Goodbye. We got to go to bed too. We got a big show tomorrow. Goodbye.
So you've been to quite a few of the popular places. What's your feeling on people saying that some of these are getting hunted out?
Yes.
That's us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the ghosts are letting us know they don't want us there. Like we keep getting EVPs that are like, go away, be gone, leave now. And it's like, yeah, I think that they're tired of the investigators.
You
Yeah.
only touch a cat ball so many times in a week, and then you're like, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Chris and I have been trying to talk about what we're going to do for next year. And honestly, we just can't. I know we should already know this because places start to fill up so fast. But as much as we still have big ticket items out there, like we'd like to go back to Iowa, but we haven't got to Melbourne Manor, or just things like that. At the same time, we're kind of like, maybe we should look for like the places that are less visited. Maybe the ghosts aren't sick of people. at those locations.
Yep.
And so we've been trying to do our research on social media to kind of find those types of places. Maybe do a big ticket item and compare the activity between the two of them, but we haven't settled on any of that yet.
Well, that was my next question is what does 2026 have, for you? So,
nice. So many wish lists items. Don't know if any of them are we definitely are going to investigate for sure. But just like she said, we're tossing ideas back and forth and we haven't settled on, spin the wheel. We haven't come to the conclusion where we're going to go yet.
That's what it makes it hard when you're on opposite sides of the country too, because it kind of feels like the sky's the limit because one of us has got to fly anyways, if not both of us. So it opens up anything could happen. But we have talked about just recently when you were doing your review, Chris, of the Myrtles, we were like, ooh, I'd love to go back there. The Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. And I did find a location in Louisiana I haven't really heard of before. So we might be able to do the two of those.
The big one is the small.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then of course we talked about going back to Iowa just because we need to redeem ourselves. Because when we got scared at the Villisca house, we were in there, but we didn't sleep in there. We
could not
slept in our beautiful Kia Sorento.
What a dream.
Safe inside the car. I felt fine.
Yeah. Those accommodations were excellent.
Yes, I appreciate that very much. We're just kind of all over the place. There's a bunch of places in Ohio, and we have some people that we know in Indiana, and we always see where they're going. So, and then of course we haven't investigated a whole lot because Chris just got to North Carolina, so we could get into that region as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot on this side too. There's a place not too far from where I am actually that was on Netflix is I think it was 28 Days. I think that was the show. There's this general store that's 2 hours away from here. That's really messed up. It's got a really kind of a messy, dark entity that's there. And I went and visited the place just because it's just a general store. You can go in there and you can buy some, hot pepper jelly if you want to, and a t-shirt and stickers. They're real friendly. And then you can walk upstairs and it's an entire museum and they have a whole room set up to kind of commemorate the bodies that were stored in the place that was a funeral parlor at one point in time. Oh. And it's so creepy, but I am in love. Yes, so that's another place that's kind of on my radar that I'd like to go to, but it's off the beaten path. And if you go 2 hours outside of my house, you might as well keep on heading towards the mountains and see what else is out that way.
Yep.
Maybe we could do some alien watching or some Brown Mountain Lights, whatever. That's another thing that we kind of want to do some more exploring. Maybe a little bit more outside the box because of the ghosts being so kind of tired of us.
Yeah, we did joke that maybe we should switch to cryptids or something, but we're not really well versed in that. I mean, we know the stories, but we don't know how to approach it the same way.
It probably means more equipment is what it means.
Yeah. Jason is definitely more a cryptid guy. He, when we have people on, I sit back and just listen and don't say much, but
I just nerd out. Yeah.
Cryptid stuff and Bigfoot. And so, pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You've mentioned so many places, but is there a bucket list place for each of you?
Chris?
I mean, eventually, Transylvania. I mean, total, if I'm going to, sky's the limit. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go. I mean, that would be awesome, right? That's where I want to go.
I would go almost, yes, that. But for some reason, I mean, there's a huge long list and it's hard to narrow it down. We can't even narrow it down next year. But I would throw out the Blood Countess's castle.
Yeah.
Isn't far from Transylvania. So you could do them at the same time. So Elizabeth Bathory's castle.
Bathory.
Yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah. I just want to know why she was really imprisoned because I have a feeling it's just because she was a wealthy woman. But anyways.
Yep.
There's the Blood Countess, the book. If any of you guys, it's really interesting, but it does kind of go into that like what if situation. What if she really wasn't this terrible person everyone made her out to be? Kind of like the witch trials. Like, hey, you know, she just had all this property that everybody else wanted. So, yeah. But anyways, I digress.
Nice. Well, gosh, an hour has gone by so quick. We thank you for coming on tonight, and it was a great show. Jason, do you have any last questions?
No, I was just finishing up our getting some comments answered on our side, but no, it was great chatting with you all tonight. Really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. Sorry, I didn't get to say all that in the beginning. I'm terrible at talking over people, so I was going to let Wendy talk and keep butting my mouth.
It was fine. It was a great show. We're going to put you guys in the green room, finish up the show, and we'll come back and talk to you.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
They sound like they'd be fun to investigate with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come across so many good teams doing this podcast, man. It's like we just got this laundry list of places to go and people to investigate with now.
Right. Yeah, I'd be like, okay, so y'all want to do Villisca? Come, let's all meet at Villisca. Or something like that. You know, like, oh gosh. Yeah. Such cool people. They were in Tennessee at one point. You know, one of my favorite places would be to go to Brushy Mountain in Tennessee. Who knows? One day maybe there's an unraveling
group event. Yeah, collab event.
Yeah. It's somewhere like that, or Missouri State Pen, somewhere big where everyone can be somewhere.
Yep. Investigate a little together, then, you know, enough room to stretch your legs and go do your own thing and not step on toes and all that.
Yeah. So we thank everyone for coming on. Come see us next week. We have another great guest, and y'all have a good night.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Unraveling the Darkness would like to thank Horn Paranormal Research for sponsoring our show. If you're craving more paranormal content, don't forget to check out our YouTube and Facebook channels at Way Out West Paranormal and Unraveling the Darkness. You can catch all of our episodes of Unraveling the Darkness on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, and YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe as it helps others find the show and join in on the paranormal fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time. Keep your lights on, stay safe, and remember, the truth is out there, and it might just be closer than you think.